Hello and welcome to the finals of Return to Ravnica block draft, where our opponent is again down to 5 cards, and this time we have the advantage of being on the play. We won the die roll. Down to 5, and they put the card on top, so I guess they found something worthwhile. Maybe the second land they needed, or something. Or they kept a 4-land hand and it just wasn't the land. That would be good too. Island. So not necessarily a super aggressive deck, although it could be Simic. Even Izzet can be aggressive. Now they're stopping on our upkeep. I don't know if that's a good sign or bad sign or what. We could get this Rakdos Cackler out here with Deviant Glee. But I'm going to save the Deviant Glee. It's possible we could play it next turn and not run into some kind of random bounce spell. Most creatures we could draw would be 2 mana anyway that we could cast on this turn. But I don't want to set it up for an early piece of removal. And blue has a ton of bounce. Blue-black here. Sacrifice a creature, yeah, I mean that would be pretty bad for us. Alright, so they figure they don't have anything to do to interact with this. I'll take it. Blue-black, is this a Dimir deck? And if so, how on earth are we going to beat it? By being aggressive, for one. We could side in a couple cards, but that doesn't seem, that seems a little loose, so I'll submit like this. And the more controlling they are, the better. With our Toil and Trouble, if they stock their hand and go up to 7 and we just destroy them with Toil and Trouble. Okay. Not a card you want to sandbag your lands against, but it's not one you usually play around either. Unless they were one of the people who passed it kind of late. They might keep it in mind, especially knowing our colors. Well, that's how Rakdos likes to play, just as fast as possible. Here, the least chance of messing up is to play our Swamp out first, because then we'll only have one option for turn 2. Every little bit helps. Spike Jester, get in there. Attack for 3. This guy, he's really fragile and all, but he feels really strong if you're attacking this early. Okay. Well, he doesn't attack through Hover Barrier, that's for sure, but not even with Deviant Glee. But we can get Ember Beast out here. So he'll have a little friend. He'll have some help next turn. Soul Tithe. Oh no. Well, it costs 3, so we have to pay 3 to even attack with it. Maybe we just don't pay it because they have the Swindler to block the Jester, and we still don't get any damage in. Gosh, so no, we won't pay it. Nice removal spell. Balustrade Spy. At least it's something. Wow, we get rid of a lot here. Lavinia of the 10th. Kind of hard to beat that card, especially it has protection from red, and that's half our deck. Dinrova Horror that we don't have to worry about. I rarely get a haul so good. And usually it doesn't matter, but it does change the ratio of cards in your opponent's deck. So if you can take out a lot of non-land cards, then that's a good sign for the rest of the match. The rest of the game, I should say. Okay, yeah, we still don't have a way to attack through this board. So let's get Razor Tip Whip into play. Whip it into shape. Oh, are they going to counter this? And we can't cast spells this turn? Alright. That was the first card we opened. It's getting us. It could have been a fairly late pick. Oh no. Goodbye, Spectacle. That would have been a nice one to get rid of the barrier. Okay. So I don't know exactly what's going on here, but it is not ideal. Okay, just Azorius and just an Esper deck over there. They got a lot of gates. 2 from Return to Ravnica, 1 from Dragon's Maze. All kind of the same thing. There we go. Death Touch. We just have a million lands. We don't need... But I'll keep playing them out because Bellows Lizard does get a bit better. Pump it 3 times. It's not quite enough to kill the Abomination. 1 more. And it's coming in, so we'll take a hit here. Until Bellows Lizard can take him on. Come on, you lazy lizard. Denizen. So they are trying to mill us. As long as they don't try to gain life or anything like that. Tavern Swindler. This is a card that's like, if you're ahead, you probably don't want to flip the coin. And if you're behind and gonna lose, you kind of have to take the chance. I guess that's how this card works. I don't know. Something like that. Well, here's another good blocker for the Maze Abomination. So we've got some good blockers out here now. As unexciting as blockers are in Rakdos decks. Come on, bring it on. The Abomination coming in. What they have. But I will happily trade off here if they let us. Maze Glider. Okay. And mill us too. Oh no, they got our other whip, our other win condition. Alright, well this doesn't do quite enough damage to them, but it does 1 to them. It draws us 2 cards. Maybe we just draw the 2 cards. Stab Wound? Oh, that's great here. Oh, thank you. So we can put that on Maze Glider. And then we have a good blocker for that for the rest of the game. Let's see, let's play a land first. Because that's one that we didn't have an answer to. And now we have some renewable source of damage, like the Razor Tip Whip. But those are all gone, so we'll have to make do with what we have. Can it go the distance? Once again, much better than the card I was tempted to take there, which was a guy like this, the 2-1 haste. What is going on here? There's like a big slug tooth monster and the goblin's running by and getting his arm chopped off? I don't know. It's pretty silly. They might mill us before we can kill them with anything like Stab Wound. We do have Skull Crack to help out a bit, so it's really a 6-turn clock. And if they mill us for 5 a turn, we're on less than that. Ooh, Spawn of Rixmati. I think we play this Unleashed for the last turn. Yeah, let's unleash it. Because we can't really attack into the Maze Glider this way. But with the Trample, it's still not that great. It's 8, and they can block with Hover Barrier and Maze Glider. But we could, if they do it that way, then we don't have to kill the Maze Glider. So they kind of have to single block with the Maze Glider, and then we trample over for a lot. So it does still help out. It's still fine, but it's still a little early for that. It's kind of when we have to, not when we can. Even the Bellows Lizard is okay on offense with a Deviant Glee. We can count that. There's 4 pumps on it now, so it's not quite as big yet. Oh, So this is doing 6, 9, 10, 11. All right, let's have them draw some cards. Is there any chance this works? They could play a card. They could counter this. Otherwise, they're pretty low. Go on their upkeep. Three. Now they can't pay life, so I'm just going to finish them off. Did we do it? Skullcrack for the win? Nice. Ooh, that was a close game, but that is the definition of reach. If you stop attacking, but you can still kill your opponent. Now, even if our creatures were better, it wouldn't have mattered. And that's why red zoo decks often have the advantage over like more powerful, white-green decks or something. Reach. Awesome. Skullcrack really showed, Skullcrack did a lot of damage in the last match especially. They were about to gain 10 life, so it did 13 damage for 2 mana. Awesome. All right, well, good luck in your drafts. Hopefully I'll have a cube draft coming up here soon.